Hi, this is a price action analyst. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Bitcoin. I just wanted to do an update on Bitcoin. I've done numerous videos on Bitcoin before. So let's just do a quick recap. This was the COVID sell-off. V spiked out of there and it's pushed up. And so the conservative projection for that move was anywhere around there. Or there or there. So that was a projected price move, and you can see the price eventually got there or very close to it. And I'd made previous projections before. So I projected the 12.4 level. You can go back and look at my videos and see that. And then I also made a more, eventually the 14,000 level. And that's all in amongst these highs. So this latest move just washed this high. So that's where you're getting the selling pressure off of. And then, my other projection was for in between these two pivots, which took us to about 13.5, and the other highs at say 14. And I still think Bitcoin's going to get there. It's doing a pretty normal thing in the meantime. So this is why I wanted to update, because I don't know how to turn the news things off Coinigi, but I keep getting updates and seeing ridiculous headlines about, Bitcoin's going to collapse and stuff because it failed at the $12,000 level. I know you have to clickbait, and well, you don't have to, but people get hysterical over, relatively normal small price movements. So I just want to talk about what I see happening here. The support and resistance lines are the orange lines that I framed up. And so you've had this move and it's gone through resistance up to the next level of resistance, and it's washed that level of resistance, and you're getting weakness off of that. And not only did it wash the resistance, it washed that previous high to the left just. So you've got, very expected weakness off of that level. So there's no sort of big deal there. I'd framed up inside support and prices pushed down and off that. And so, if price hasn't held support here and it's come out of inside support, retrace, and it's pushing down. So my short-term premise is for price to come back towards support. Okay. And as it does that, it's going to be fighting, this wick. This wick's going to offer support. So, and then that's in the context, my longer term bias is very much up. When I did my other video, I explained why I think this is going to be the low. Price is higher probability that it gets to the all-time high of 19,000 then goes below or retests this low. And that had a lot to do with the way it V spiked out of this low. It was very bullish. So you had one leg up and another leg up. So this is very much uptrending. And so my bias longer term is uptrending. And so within that upward bias, it's very normal for price to cycle between support and resistance. And you can see, with this push up, it didn't even get to resistance, and it tested support, retested that previous high, tested support, pushed to a new high, and then, went back to test support and then broke out. So, we've had a very strong push through two resistance levels, and now price is having a little breather within this context. So, expect price to come down here and then, it's going to do whatever, whatever actions down here, but it's eventually going to, my expectation is for this support level to hold in the context of this. And you're going to get another move. Now, it might not get down to support. This might offer enough buying support to kick off the second leg. But, I guess to call it my expectation and my high probability worst case scenario is for that. I think something like this, that's going to be lower probability, that is also possible though, because this is, there's air here and there's air here, and price will want to fill that air. So, a deep test might take us down here. But again, when that's played out, my overall premise is for that. So I don't think, in fact, it's kind of laughable to look at that and think, oh my God, price is collapsing. I think that's just, so I'm not telling you what to do, but I wouldn't be interested in following anyone that was talking stuff like that, because it's just, it needs to be based on something, right? It's just, but you see a lot of stupid headlines. So when I look at what's happening to Bitcoin, that's what I see. So again, my sort of very worst case scenario would be a retest of this air here. And that means, again, it's kind of the same thing, because if it washes support, this is quite a deep wash of support and the air fills, but expect the same thing and a push out of here. This is going to act as a big barrier to price going below it. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means when it gets into this area, you've got a whole bunch of buying support now, because all of these represent stuck shorts, right? So expect a lot of buying pressure when you get into this area. The other thing is, a lot of the time you'll see like a fishhook pattern. You'll see price come to, again, around a 50% retracement, which would take us near the support and the air, and a push out. So, what does all that mean? So if you're very short-term time frame, if you bought here and you're short-term, you might look at exiting here and just watch price cycle down. If you're long-term, if this stuff doesn't bother you, and, unless you're short-term trading, it shouldn't, then you can probably just sit through this, right? Like, I haven't noticed any of this at all. And because I look at the Bitcoin pairs, this decrease in Bitcoin price is good for us too, because it helps other prices move up. So Bitcoin's going to take a bit of a breather here, most likely. But I'm not panicking about it. So let's talk about what would worry me. That now I want to see what's going to happen here. And then, if I see that's not very good. That's bad. But again, it's hard to, this is a difficulty in trading when price goes against your high probability expectation, because, do you cut price here? Because there's a major pocket of air right there, right? So the way that I would deal with this is, before the price plays in or prints in, have your line in the sand. Assume that price is going here, and decide where you would want to cut it. If it was down here, where you would have cut it, that's a safer place to think. If you're not holding Bitcoin for the long term, again, let's say I bought here and it's here, and that's not a lot of fat. I just exit here, and then just watch this play out. And you know what? If it just bursts out of here, then that's fine. Just wait for a retrace and hit the retrace and get back in a little bit of higher price. Consider that the cost of insurance. But, you know, if you're not prepared to sit through it coming down here, then get out earlier, have your line in the sand, right? For me, you know, my Bitcoin position is not very big, and my premise is upwards. You know, I probably wait until it gets down here, and then I'm still probably not going to sell, because on such a small position, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, price coming down into here is very, very low probability now. With this big V spike out, you know, the context of what's happening in the broader economy, this breakout, this push out of here, you know, this is unlikely. So, and then I would say that, you know, once wherever price comes down, and when you get your push out of here, this is price is coming for this $14,000 high. So, you know, I'll probably do another video when we see the big push, but when we see that big push and that looks like the start of the next leg, that's going to be the price projection. You want it to be more accurate, you know, wherever that low is, and it's going to take us to about the $14,000 level, and price is going to come up here and test it. Probably won't get through here on the first thing, but to me, that's where price is heading. And again, in the context of what's going on with the money printing, like, how's the price of this going down? I think it's unlikely. Silver and gold are taking a breather, but you know, it's kind of akin to someone looking at the silver or gold price right now and going, oh my God, silver and gold's collapsing. Like, that's ridiculous. You know, again, that might be the case. The price might be collapsing, but there's no evidence to say that it looks like it's doing that. You know, there's no fundamental evidence. There's no price action evidence. Not yet. So this is normal price action for me, and I'm not, you know, not worried about it at all. But again, you know, when these pushes up here, this is like saying price is collapsing. Well, it's coming down to retest the pockets of air, right? But again, upward premise, retests, and eventually you get your next leg. So, you know, it might do something like that here, but I think eventually it's going to push up. So I'll leave it there. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out the services that I have in the description box, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.